Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to dismantle, literally, the absolute biggest lies society has ever told you about your own potential. If you're a focused learner looking to truly optimize how your brain functions, you are in the exact right place. We're looking at some groundbreaking insights into cognitive enhancement that completely separate the vast majority of people from a highly elite group of thinkers.
Yeah, they lied to us. We've all been told, pretty much since day one, that intelligence is just this fixed thing, like it's stamped on your forehead at birth, right? We're conditioned to think the smart person just stays smart and the not-so-smart person is just out of luck for life. But the reality? That is complete fiction. Intelligence is not some predetermined fate. It is a highly trainable skill.
Get this, 12.63 times. That's the multiplier. See, there's a specific trap that about 99% of people fall into that keeps them confined within these really narrow mental boundaries. But the top 1%, the ones who actively avoid this trap, they can actually multiply their cognitive capabilities, their sheer thinking power, by an astounding 12.63 times compared to everybody else. And today, we're going to unpack exactly how they do it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the brain's economy mode, and why you really only use 5 to 10% of your mind.
So, looking at the fascinating neuroscientific reality of how our brains actually operate on a daily basis, you are only using about 5 to 10% of your brain for your active tasks. I know, it sounds crazy, but it is a scientifically backed neurological fact. And no, it's not because the rest of your brain is useless. It's because your brain is incredibly efficient and honestly, inherently lazy. To save massive amounts of energy, it chills in a power-saving economy mode roughly 90% of the time. Which means you have a colossal reservoir of untapped potential just waiting to be activated.
To give you an idea of just how intense this economy mode really is, think about that famous selective attention experiment. Researchers showed folks a video of people passing a basketball and just said, hey, count the exact number of passes. But what they didn't tell the participants was that right in the middle of the video, a guy in a full-on gorilla suit slowly walks directly across the center of the screen for several seconds. And the results? Over 50% of the people completely missed the giant gorilla. Literally had no idea it was there. Why? Because the human brain actively filters out what it isn't looking for to save energy. It only focuses on what you demand of it and totally ignores the rest, even when it's blatantly obvious. It reveals a terrifying truth. We see far less than we think, and we understand much less than we believe. Which brings us right into another huge cognitive trap, the Dunning-Kruger effect. You've probably heard of this. It's a psychological phenomenon where people with lower ability in a certain area actually drastically overestimate their intelligence, while really capable people often underestimate theirs. It basically creates this cognitive bubble, an illusion that actively prevents genuine learning and evolution. Becoming aware of these limits, the economy mode, the invisible gorillas, these illusory bubbles, is the very first key to breaking out of them.
Now, let's move to Section 2, the growth mindset shift. Intelligence is what you do with it.
Now, what's really interesting here is the solution. Enter the growth mindset. This is a revolutionary theory from Dr. Dweck, and her research absolutely proves that smart people aren't necessarily genetically superior. They're simply people who believe intelligence can grow, and they actually take action based on that belief. The ultimate takeaway? Intelligence isn't just the gray matter sitting inside your head. Intelligence is actively defined by what you do with it.
All right, let's get practical. Section 3. The 7 steps. This is your toolkit for super intelligence.
Let's jump right into step 1, daily learning.
The math in this is beautifully simple. If you commit to learning just one small thing every single day, just one concept, one idea, one new skill, you write it down, reflect on it, and connect it to what you already know. By the end of a single year, you've accumulated 365 brand new ideas. That simple law of compound growth is enough on its own to make you vastly smarter than you were.
Next up is step 2, critical thinking.
This is where we seriously upgrade how you process the world. You literally can never ever accept things at face value. When you read or hear something, you've got to train your brain to instantly fire off 3 questions. Who said it? Why did they say it? And what is the actual evidence? Instead of just absorbing information like a passive sponge, you need to analyze it, debate it, and rigorously review those arguments.
Which leads perfectly into step 3, filtering cognitive noise.
This one is absolutely vital in our modern digital age. Human working memory actually has a hard biological limit.
Studies show the average person can only hold about 7.2 items in their working memory at one time. So when you flood your brain with the constant noise of news, rumors, and social media, you are maxing out that limit with garbage, completely isolating yourself from deep, real thinking. You have to protect this space. Dedicate daily time to mental quiet. And to process more within that limit, use a technique called chunking, basically grouping information together. It's the exact same method chess masters use to efficiently process massive amounts of board data.
Rolling right into steps 4 and 5. These two are all about intense focus and clarity. Step 4 is training deep focus. You need at least 30 minutes every single day of absolute zero distraction time. No phone, no notifications, nothing. Use that time for studying or complex problem solving, specifically engaging in logic-based systems like coding or chess. Studies actually show that regularly practicing programming or chess physically grows the gray matter in your brain and drastically improves your decision-making. And step 5? Think by writing. When you face a complex problem, write your thoughts out. It forces your brain to organize, structure, and clarify its chaotic thoughts, massively increasing your practical, applicable intelligence.
And finally, steps 6 and 7.
Step 6 tells us that the absolute best way to solidify knowledge is to teach it to someone else. Discuss it, write an article, just share it. And that naturally ties into step 7, which is your biology. Look, you cannot have a super intelligent mind inside a neglected body. You need 7 to 8 hours of sleep to biologically lock in the information you learned that day. You've got to exercise to pump blood and oxygen to the brain. And you absolutely must feed your brain chemistry with proper nutrition. We're talking omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin B, and antioxidants. These 3 pillars, they are the foundational physical hardware that runs all of your mental software.
So that brings us to section 4, your ultimate transformation. 1 year to an unstoppable mind.
So the crucial point is, what actually happens when you apply all this? I want you to imagine yourself exactly 1 year from today. Every single day for a year, you learned one new idea. You practiced critical thinking, you completely blocked out the noise, you wrote down your thoughts, and you totally dialed in your sleep and nutrition. Do you really think you'll be the same person? No way! You will be vastly smarter, hyper-focused, and endlessly more aware. Remember, no one is born super intelligent. But by actually taking these actions, you place yourself squarely in the elite top 12.66% of people who decided to take control and transform themselves into an unstoppable version of their former selves.
And the decision is entirely in your hands right now. Are you going to stay comfortable in the 99%, just coasting along in your brain's economy mode with a fixed mindset? Or will you join the 1% who deliberately engineer an unstoppable mind? If you're ready to break those limits, drop a comment below and tell me exactly which of the 7 steps you are going to start with today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.